It's all too ironic that on what is probably now the coldest day we've experienced in Colorado for the entire year, I have chosen to explore and dive into a deck whose namesake comes from the traditional pagan holiday that is Litha, or the celebration of the summer solstice. So stick around because today we're going to jump right into summer in the middle of this blizzard and check out the Children of Litha tarot. Hey Tarot Tribe, it's Dustin from A Modern Metaphysic Man, and today I thought we could hang out and check out The Children of Litha Tarot by Alexandria Huntington. This was a Kickstarter deck that totally escaped my vision. However, she had some of these sort of limited edition versions of the decks up for sale on her website, and so I snagged one up as soon as I saw I could. It's ironic that I am reviewing this deck, which is about summer, on what is the coldest day that Colorado's had all year. We're experiencing a blizzard right now, and it's I literally can't see outside of my window. Everything, the whole entire state is like shut down right now, and so I'm just hanging out and recording a bunch of videos, so that'll be really fun to get all of these uploaded as the week goes on. So I thought we could take a trip through the Children of Litha first. So this deck, as I mentioned, is by Alexandria Huntington. As always, I will put all of her contact information in the description below, and where you can find this deck. She sent this really lovely business card, and mine has the Emperor on it, which I simply adore. Because I am an Aries. The deck itself was beautifully packaged, and as always, I, took it out of the packaging just to make sure everything was there and all the cards were there and there was nothing wrong. It came tied with a piece of lavender and quartz point, which was really nice. And so all of those little touches just really make my day. I appreciate them so much. It also came with a little sticker with this design on it, which I'll probably stick in one of my notebooks. So yeah, let's dive into this. It comes in a really nice, hard, sturdy box with a magnetic closure, which I always super appreciate. On the back, there's a brief little description here that says the physical prowess of the beast is matched only by the cognitive power of man. When these two opposing forces combine, they exceed the sum of their parts and create the divine. For as long as we have been able to tell stories, this truth has been reflected in the narratives we share with each other. The Children of Litha Tarot takes these stories and interweaves them with ancient wisdoms of the tarot. It is where the human, the beast, and the divine meet to guide you to your truest self. Each deck carries 80 fully illustrated cards by Alexandria Huntington, and then, gives a standard little blurb there. But yeah, the box is really wonderful. It's actually a nice big chunky box. The cards themselves are really lovely. The inside also has a little blurb which says, "We are sometimes less hero than fool on our journey. It's true, but you need not travel alone. You are more than just you. In the brightness of day, you have the aid of the sun. In the darkness of night, the moon leaves behind none. Through our travels, they are long, and our burdens profound. You are never so lost that you can never be found." Just a really wonderful little poem. The book itself is a really nice thick guidebook. It's really well printed. Again, has that gold foil on it, which is awesome. And inside there's just pages and pages of information. There's a little full color example of the card, and each card has a poem, which is really lovely. And I love poetry, so I will definitely spend some time reading all of these little poems that relate to the meaning of the cards, which I think is really cool. And in here you'll also find sort of So just some basic information about different spreads and things like that. So it's a really well done guidebook. I mean, it's almost 200 pages. So it's definitely a really awesome little book. The inside of the box on the very bottom does have a little image with the signature of the artist, and it just says the first edition. The cards themselves, they are a standard tarot sized card. So nothing crazy there. The backs have this lovely reversible design on them, which I appreciate. If I'm not one that personally reads reversals, but if you do, and that's important, they are reversible. The deck is gilt in gold, so it is that nice shiny gold. It's really well done. They don't stick together or anything like that, which is nice. And the imagery is absolutely beautiful. The stock itself is a nice thick cardstock, so it's not super bendy. It's really well done. The finish is a very matte finish, as you can tell, which I adore. So yeah, the deck has this amazing illustrative quality. It is literally, it just reminds me of a fairy tale book, is the best way to describe it. And it's so well done. Her illustrative style and her talent is immeasurable. I mean, they're just beautiful cards. All the cards have this sort of round egg shape border to them, but as you can see, a lot of the imagery goes outside of that border. I do like the frames as well with the titles. I think it's just really well done. These are really well done borders. They're purposeful, they're meaningful, and they add to the overall quality of the image and the card. So I do really enjoy the borders. So we have our Magician, and as you can tell, all of the cards follow the RWS sort of standard, but they're very non-traditional in the imagery, which is wonderful. Centaur here for the Emperor is so cool. I don't even know if that's a centaur really. It's like a combination of several different beasts. Our Hierophant. So it's a very fantastical deck. It's just very whimsical, and I really love it. I love this Lover's card. The Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. This actually reminds me of one of the characters from The Magicians on the Sci-Fi Channel right now. I don't know if any of you guys are watching that show, but it's one of my favorites. So if you do watch it, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, it reminds me of one of the characters in that show. And we have our Wheel of Fortune, which is a zodiac wheel, which I always love. And I love these foxes and then the reference to the day and night aspects of the zodiac wheel. And then it also includes the Wheel of the Year, which is just wonderful. Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Temperance. The Devil. I love this dragon sitting on his pile of coins. It's a very fantastical way of expressing the devil. And in most traditional fantasy stories, dragons are on the evil side, and they tend to be, align themselves well with that idea of obsession over physical things and addiction and things like that. So I thought this was a really great take on the Devil card. This Tower card is amazing. I can't say anything else. Star. They're all so beautiful. Her artwork is just stunning. I love this Moon card. Sun. Judgment. In the World. Absolutely beautiful. And then we get into our minors. So we have our Ace of Cups, and Two of Cups. And all of the minor cards are a little more pippish. They definitely fall away from your traditional tarot sort of imagery. And they all very heavily lean on their elemental association, which I think is wonderful. It's a great take. Definitely more of a deck that I would recommend for intermediate readers, not one that I would throw on the pile for beginners, but if it really speaks to you, you know, jump in. The book is wonderful and you can learn a lot from it, I think. So, 8 of Cups, our 9 of Cups, and our 10 of Cups. I just think is wonderful. You still get that sense of family, right? Which is just, it's just great. We have our court, so our page, our knight, our queen, and our king. I love this walrus. He just looks so content. We have our pentacles. So we have our Ace of Pentacles, 2, 3, and as you can see, the color of the borders do change depending on the suit, and that color does reflect the elemental association. So pentacles being earth, we have a little bit more of a earthy brown sort of sepia colored border. 7. I love this. I think it's a yak. I love his little haircut. It's very edgy. 8, 9, 10. Little rhino family. Then we have our court. So our page. Our knight. Our queen and our king. And then we have our suit of swords. So again, we get into air territory, which is very clear, right? We have birds. I love this 3 of Swords. Like, holy crap, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that is the 3 of Swords, right? And the one thing about the 3 of Swords that I think a lot of people get caught up in is heartbreak, right? Because it traditionally has a heart that's being stabbed, which is really an emotion, right? It's more aligned to the suit of cups than the suit of swords. So the 3 of Swords really, although it has that emotional quality to it, right, it is something that we need to also remember that the suit of swords being the suit of our thoughts and our ideals and our beliefs, right, that we should look at that aspect and that quality of it. And this really just kind of spoke to me of that, of not just the heartache that we feel, but the things that go through our minds, right, in those instances. So 4 of Swords, 5. I love the monarchs. 6 and 7. 8. In the cage, poor little bird. And 9. And 10. And then we have our court, so our page, our knight, our queen, and our king. And then we get into our wands. So fire, of course, comes up, and so we have the red border to reflect that. And then we have a lot of felines and wolves and things like that. Sort of strong, strength-based creatures, which I think is cool. Nine and 10. And then we have our page, our knight, our queen, and our king. And I do like how there's, you know, different sort of ethnicities and cultures represented in the courts. I think that's really cool. And then we have the 2 extra cards. So it is an 80 card deck, and the 2 extra cards we have are both labeled Infinity. And we have the Void and the All, right? So kind of nothing and everything, which I think are really wonderful, different cards to include. And they are cards that I will leave in the deck when I read with this deck. And there's great descriptions of them within the guidebook. So yeah, that is the Children of Litha. I absolutely adore it. The artwork is just amazing. The quality of the cards and what you get for the price is completely worth it, in my opinion. I just simply adore this deck. I'm just so happy that I have it. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning. So let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below. As always, I love hearing what your thoughts are. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and that you're not faced with this crazy blizzard like I am. I super appreciate all of you coming to hang out and watch my videos and interacting with me both here on YouTube and on my other social media platforms. So thank you for all of your love and support. And as always, remember, everyone's fighting a battle you know nothing about. So be kind, always. Bye, everybody.